What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons. You guys beat my ass on that like goal. I said, and my Hulk versus Broly is not even close, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check that out. And smash the like button on that video if you haven't already. But I told y'all, 100 plus likes in the first couple hours, I would drop the Doomsday Hulk battle swap same day. You guys got the 300 likes in 2 hours. That is amazing. On this video, if you guys could get it to 200 plus, that would be incredible as well. It really helps my channel grow, gets it in the algorithm, and new people start to tune in. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I try to drop content daily, and I definitely, at bare minimum, post on the community tab. So definitely join Goon Nation. We have a lot of fun. And yeah, getting into this. How does my battle swaps work? It's been a while since we've done one. It's pretty simple. I am going to be taking the current editions of both characters, which, spoilers, I'll be dropping a video soon on why I think Doomsday vs. Hulk is an amazing battle in current day and age comics. But we're going to take their current characters, like where they stand, and we're going to pit them against 10 battles from each side. And at the end, we'll review who does better when they swap battles with each other. I hope you guys are excited for this. Again, it's been a while since we've done it. And yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So first off, let's put Doomsday through his gauntlet. Which Doomsday are we using? We are using current Doomsday, who recently was shown in Action Comics. This Doomsday is able to go toe-to-toe with a Supergirl that has an armor designed to go to war with all of the heavens, as well as the one above all. On top of this, he manhandled Martian Manhunter at the same time and was the strongest being in hell, even stronger than the first of the fallen. Doomsday is an absolute monster right now, and he is currently trying to escape the lowest level of hell. How does he do in this gauntlet? Well, first up for Doomsday is Sentry. This is an interesting one. If you guys don't know, Sentry, who also has the Void at his disposal, is a being who has always been on par with Herald Tears, his power, compared to the likes of even Galactus. He is an interesting one because of his reality warping, his different hacks, and how strong he can get while using the power of the Void. I would love to see him fight Doomsday, because Sentry's a little different than Superman. Sentry fights with hacks as well as goes for the kill right away. However, I see, given how he's adapted currently to hell, like all the endless ways to kill him, reality warping and all that, and like erasure, it doesn't work on Doomsday anymore. Just the idea of him comes back. I don't know how Sentry would do, or rather, I don't know how well he would do besides just holding off Doomsday for a while. I do think he'd give him hell. He'd probably do as good, if not better, than how Manhunter did in the recent comic. But overall, I see Doomsday eventually taking him down, probably mid-difficulty. Next, we have Thor. Now, this is fucking fun because we're considering modern-day Thor. Hulk has even gone toe-to-toe with modern-day Thor. What's modern-day Thor capable of? What's he doing right now? Well, he has gone toe-to-toe with the Utgard, who essentially exist in the non-realm as compared to the other 10 realms, and they should scale to or above the ones who sit above in shadow, who literally consume concepts and archetypes like the story of Ragnarok and the narrative of Ragnarok, like a lunch, like a snack. His divine lightning can hurt Null and impact Null, and overall, current Thor is one of the strongest powerhouses in Marvel. If he goes toe-to-toe with Doomsday, no shock here for you guys. I think he does way better than Sentry. I think depending on how you scale each cosmology would really shift your opinion on this battle. I would say with high difficulty, Doomsday takes him down eventually. Thor would throw a lot of shit at him and does have a lot of power at his disposal, but ultimately, Doomsday will eventually get to him, and I see him beating Thor. High difficulty, like I said. Next, number 3, we have Abomination. Abomination, one of the most historically famous ops to the Hulk, has gamma-like radiation. However, he doesn't scale to the Hulk. He has given him hell over the years, but obviously stronger forms of the Hulk outscale Abomination. Now, if Abomination went toe-to-toe with Doomsday, how do I see that going down? Of course, Abomination's pulling up, swinging and banging, but this is going to be a low to maybe mid-diff, depending on how high you scale Abomination. But I see him eventually getting worn out and beat the fuck up by Doomsday. Doomsday just scales way higher and is better at what Abomination tries to do. So I see him taking him down. Next, we have Zeus. Zeus, Marvel Comics, isn't as prevalent as DC's Zeus. However, he is a member of the Godhead, is considered at times around the level of Odin, and even helped at one point fight back against the Chaos King, although he did eventually go down. Zeus, in my opinion, would be interesting to see because he would use his power. He wouldn't try to just brawl right away. He would try to use energy manip and different types of reality warping to fight back against this behemoth. However, I see this going about the same as it did when Darkseid got pulled up on by Doomsday, if not worse, given his current power. Zeus just doesn't have the respect in the cosmology of Marvel to scale high enough, in my opinion, to be too serious of a threat to current Doomsday. As a result, I have this Doomsday running through Zeus, mid to high difficulty. Next, we have Red Hulk. Red Hulk is actually a pretty wild one to scale. He was always up and down. He had some fun fictional transcendence arguments. He went toe-to-toe with Thor, went toe-to-toe with Hulk. However, I do not see Red Hulk taking down Doomsday. Again, this is a situation where he's just brawling with Doomsday, in which no one in creation is better than that as. On top of this, current Doomsday, according to Superman, is stronger than anything Superman has ever faced. He's just the strongest thing. When you equate that to and consider beings Superman has fought like beings powered by the Great Darkness, that's an insane statement. So yeah, I don't see Red Hulk having the capabilities of taking down Doomsday at all. He gets beat up low to mid diff. Next, we have a pretty interesting one. We have the one below all's realm in the shadow of Toba. This is a fun one because it would be kind of like Doomsday's current story, where he's running through all the layers of hell and all the demons there and all the endless tortures. Before this story, I would have given Toba's realm a lot bigger credit. Like, I think they would have been a way bigger threat. However, due to how we saw him style on DC's entire hell, man, I think he's going to do the same here. I have it going mid-diff. The reason it's not low-diff is because Toba's realm is no joke. It can be weird, but he would adapt regardless. So I have him clearing that as well. Next, we have Ghost Rider. Now, Ghost Rider is a pretty interesting one because obviously Zarathos could take over. Ghost Rider does have a little bit better scaling, being able to bully Mephisto, although you could argue Mephisto is not at full power. Current Ghost Rider was also King of Hell for a bit. If he was to go toe-to-toe with Doomsday, I definitely think he has the power level, especially if he lets the spirit take over, to go toe-to-toe for a while with Doomsday. However, the flames of hell, the damnation, all that, literally none of that impacts Doomsday anymore. Like, he's dealt with that at the lowest pits of hell within DC Comics. So I definitely see him withstanding everything Ghost Rider could possibly throw at him. He's actually kind of a hard counter to the abilities of Ghost Rider, and as a result, I have Doomsday taking it mid-difficulty. Next, we have the Avengers. Kind of like when Hulk pulled up on the Avengers in Immortal Hulk, we're replacing him with King in Hell Doomsday. Now, in this situation, I think it actually would play out similar to Immortal Hulk. I think he rocks the fuck out of Thor. Doomsday has a pretty good innate sense of who to attack first, like who's a big dog, and Thor obviously emanates tremendous power. I see him going after Thor first, taking him down, and proceeding accordingly with the rest of the group. While the Avengers would put up a fight, they're not the same Avengers as classic Avengers. They don't have Hulk here, so it's too much. I think he takes down the Avengers mid to high diff. Next, we have Zom-amped Doctor Strange. Now, of course, we are referencing the infamous form of Doctor Strange that encountered World War Hulk, took him down briefly, but then got his hands broken and was subdued by Hulk. If this Strange goes against Doomsday, it's pretty interesting because obviously the approach is way different than it was with Hulk. that was a friend of Strange. He wasn't trying to kill Banner, and he still was hurting him. I do see him briefly with Zom knocking back Doomsday. The Doomsday is eventually going to get up, and unfortunately for Strange, tear through all his defenses and eventually get to him. Now, if he goes for BFR, this is a bit tricky, because First of the Fallen is proven to have BFR, capable of doing such, but he can't do that to Doomsday. You know? Doomsday has a lot more resistance to BFR now. He resisted the Omega Beams. It's hard to argue if Doctor Strange has better seals than, like, the lowest layers of Hell in DC. That's a tough one to argue. I do think this is a high diff matchup, because it's an empowered Doctor Strange who's going to go even harder than he did against Hulk. But still, King in Hell Doomsday eventually will overcome Doctor Strange. Finally, we have Nightmare. Obviously, infamous moments with Hulk throughout comics. Hulk has always been sick of Nightmare, is not scared of shit, and always pulled up in Nightmare's dimension for the smoke. I see that being no different for Doomsday. You're not gonna scare Doomsday. Like, that's fucking crazy. This man runs down on Superman in the story of Superman every Tuesday. He doesn't give a fuck. He really does not. So I see him pulling up on Nightmare, and that's one of the worst creatures for Nightmare to have to deal with, because Doomsday's not going for shit in that realm. And I see him eventually capturing or hawking down Nightmare and taking him out, even in his own realm. Maybe mid-diff at worst. But yeah, we have Doomsday out the way. Let's see what Fractured Sun Hulk would do in the shoes of Doomsday. Real quick before we touch those battles, make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. Tell all your friends to like and subscribe already. Putting in a lot of work. Best way you can show love back is to get people to subscribe to my channel as well, and just helping me grow in general. Also, check out my second channel for Star Wars, Darth Goons. Getting back to this, Fractured Sun Hulk. Pulling up first is Superman. We are putting Fractured Sun Hulk in the same scenario as the original Doomsday Saga. That is, Superman's having nightmares about Hulk facing Hulk, and eventually does face him. Now, this is a tough one. This was a Superman who recently in King in Hell Doomsday story admitted he's literally never fought as hard versus anything else in his life. He has never reached that level of power or power drainage due to going so hard. I actually see Superman, if he's treating Hulk like he treated the Doomsday scenario, he would take down Hulk. It would be the highest of difficulties. And he might even go into that Kryptonian coma, same way he did with Doomsday. But I do see the symbol of hope overcoming the wrath of God, although the highest of difficulties. I will say, Hulk could sleep him if Superman's not taking him as serious as Doomsday. But again, this is a battle swap. We had Doomsday considered narratively the same as Hulk in his. We're doing the same here. So I see Superman taking a high diff. Next, we have the Forces of Apocalypse. This is the defensive regimes and little demigods running around trying to stop Doomsday when he pulled up to face Darkseid. However, it's not Doomsday this time. It's Fractured Sun Hulk. I see him absolutely wrecking shop here. It would be fucking bad. Like, he's gonna run around slapping the piss out of everybody. I don't see much resistances here. Maybe mid at best, maybe mid diff, but more than likely low diff in the favor of the Fractured Sun. Next, we have Mother Box Amped Superman. If you don't know who this is when Doomsday was returned. Superman was back as well, and he was so desperate to stop Doomsday, he collabed, hopped on the track with the Linear Men. On top of this, he attached a mother box to himself, Godsphere technology to amp himself. This would be a little less hard for Superman than the original battle was, and I'll also say this, that's a trouble for Fractured Sun. This Superman will look to BFR you. So him going for BFRs, having a mother box amp, that's trouble. Because of that matchup nightmare, high diff, Fractured Sun would lose. A little easier of a battle for this Superman than the first one, but again, it's a tough-ass battle. Next, we have Darkseid. This is the situation in which Darkseid was on Apokolips, and Doomsday pulled up for the 1v1. I think Fractured Sun Hulk would do him as dirty as Doomsday originally did him, if not dirtier. Fractured Sun does not have time for shit. He did Brother Deep crazy. Like, he just tore him apart, as similar to how it was described with the One Above All when he initially did it, or the Golden God. I see him doing Darkseid dirty here. That is not nearly the strongest version of Darkseid, and he's going to get hooked by Hulk in that scenario, probably low to mid diff. Next, we have a Green Lantern platoon. As we saw in the comics, at one point, Lanterns ran into Doomsday, and they banded together to try to stop him. Did they stop him? Fuck no. If they encountered Fractured Sun Hulk, I don't see it going any different. Their constructs are cool. Strength in numbers cool. It's not enough for Fractured Sun. He would beat the shit out of the Green Lanterns, and I see him taking down the platoons low to mid diff. Next, we have Jonathan Kent. It's an interesting one. Jonathan Kent has statements putting him at or above the power level of his father, Superman. On top of this, he recently went toe-to-toe with Doomsday, although he was pretty much defeated and his dad came in to save him. He did, for a bit, box with Doomsday, which is hella impressive. Now, if he goes against Fractured Sun, this is interesting. Yes, he's supposed to scale to his father. However, he's not as experienced as his father. He doesn't fight like his father. And he's just not as good at cultivating his power and weaponizing it. I see him, due to that experience gap in the style of how he fights, he's a swing and bang, more so than Superman is. I see him eventually losing to Fractured Sun mid to high diff. His dad would have to come in and save him again, because he'd get cooked. Next for Hulk is Plastic Man. Now, Plastic Man's tougher than people give him credit for. He's widely regarded as one of the strongest to ever lace him up for the Justice League. On top of this, he has the ability to essentially do whatever he wants to his body on an atomic or cellular level. It's in constant flux. So he's one of the most malleable powerhouses ever. He did get ripped apart by Doomsday and essentially put down, and I do see Fractured Sun doing the same thing. The way he ripped through Brother Deep, the way he's just brutal in his fighting style now, I think he would kind of massacre Plastic Man the way Doomsday did. I see him doing it probably mid-diff, because Plastic Man's tough as fuck. He clutched up on Furnace. Like, he's strong as shit. And it's not an easy fight, but Hulk would win. Next, we have Martian Manhunter and Supergirl with the armor of the First of the Fallen. Now, this armor is supposed to be able to help First of the Fallen fight the Heavens and Presence. Supergirl took it. In my opinion, she was not reaching its maximum level. That seemed to be the narrative implication, although she was regarded as one of the stronger possible soldiers of hell. Martian Manhunter has his mind hacks, as well as he did temporarily stand up to Doomsday in hell and then mind hacks the souls of hell. Now, if they were to face Fractured Hulk, I actually think Fractured Hulk is comfortable in the pocket with that Supergirl. I think he can go toe-to-toe and be fine. However, I'm worried about the mind hacks of Martian Manhunter. In this scenario, he might be able to get through to Banner and revert him. He has insane mind hacks, even mind hacking fifth dimensional beings, old gods. It's really impressive. So if Manhunter goes for that while Supergirl's brawling, I definitely see them taking it high difficulty, and I want to note that that's how they fight. Like, when they teamed up, that's how Manhunter goes for it, because she in that armor can brawl with almost anything. So he's going to try to hacks, and that's what he did in the comics. I see him going for that here, and probably would be successful in temporarily stopping Fractured Sun, bringing him down, and taking him out when he reverts or hesitates. Next, finally, we have Infinite Gogs for 100 years. This is a fun one because I actually, while this is one of the tougher battles on paper, I mean, literally fighting an endless wave of Gogs for 100 years, if anyone's gonna ball out doing that, it's someone like Hulk, who gets stronger the more pissed off he is. Having to constantly deal with these waves, we've seen how the Hulk reacts to like waves on waves of opponents. Like he just gets stronger and starts ripping them apart, and it gets crazy, even taking the abstract levels. I see Fractured Sun tearing through these for 100 years and probably asking for 100 more. Because he's a crazy son of a bitch. I see him taking this probably mid-diff. But in conclusion, when comparing the run of battles for Hulk and Doomsday, who did better? By the fact that I think he might be the first character in this series to sweep his battles. Doomsday won all his, and Hulk lost a couple. However, it's really close. Hulk did really fucking good. And this is a battle that honestly I have to visit again, because these recent versions of Doomsday and Hulk are insanely powerful. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know who should be next on the Battle Swap series. I'm trying to do it at least once a week going forward and bring it back into regular content on the channel. Make sure to tell everyone you know to like and subscribe to Jobbers and Goons. Help me reach 30K. We're on the road for sure. And yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're a big expert on modern Marvel and DC, join my Discord. We may have you join us on our adventure of doing the ultimate scale. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.